Leading today's news, prosecution urges court to uphold verdict in Andrew Foy's case. Ministry discussed new assistance grants process. Brewers Bay restroom facility update is provided. A BVI Grammy Award winner DONELLE Smith speaks about the journey. And Kiss My Ace and Guns for Life dominate in local volleyball league. Viewers, these and more stories when 284 News return.
Across the BVI, the fastest, most reliable, and affordable fiber internet service is here for you. Look out for fire in these new locations: Slaney, Duff Bottom, Manual Reef, Seacows Bay, Albion, Hannah's, Palestina, Pleasant Valley, and Havers. Fiber is in your area. Call 444-4444 or visit a CCT store to find out more and bring it home. More locations coming soon.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I got here. My name is Kamal Haynes. Most of you know me from 284 News, but now you get to see me in a different light on my very own show called Health is Wealth. We have Joel Turnbull.
I don't want you to arch your back when you're pulling down.
Milton McLean.
First of all, right, your footwork.
Steve Augustine.
You did a pretty hard workout today, so perhaps...
And as you can see, it's actually...
Alonzo Boynes.
Taekwondo.
Adam Murrows.
I'll speak as if you're an absolute beginner.
I am an absolute beginner.
You are an absolute beginner.
And Seth Graham.
It bites. It will bite.
Get your water, get your fruits and veggies, and experience a wealth of knowledge about getting healthy. Welcome viewers to the Thursday, February 15th edition of 284 News. I am Kamal Haynes, bringing you the latest out of the British Virgin Islands. Leading today's news, in a recent court submission to the United States District Court, Southern District of Florida, the prosecution in the trial of former Premier Andrew Foy has empathetically urged the court to respect the guilty verdict handed down on Thursday, February 8th. Foy was found guilty of 4 counts relating to conspiracy to import cocaine into the United States, conspiracy to commit money laundering, attempted money laundering, and interstate travel in aid of racketeering. According to the filed court documents seen by 284 Media, the submission underscored the importance of the court adhering to Federal Rule of Evidence 606 and the 11th Judicial Circuit of Florida precedent to preserve the sanctity of the jury's decision. The prosecution contended that there is no clear, strong, substantial, and incontrovertible evidence or reason to believe that the 12-member jury was influenced by extraneous prejudicial information, outside influence, mistakes on the verdict form, or racial stereotypes in convicting the defendant. Citing a previous case as a precedent, the prosecution maintained the integrity of the trial process and insisted that they uphold the jury's verdict. The prosecution also argued that the jury's decision should remain respected and undisturbed, even in the event that Foy's legal team opts to file a motion for a new trial or mistrial based on a post-verdict, post-polling, and post-discharge juror statements. They reference Rule 606 and the 11th Circuit precedent as the guiding principles in this regard. In the submission, the government further proposed a cautious approach by the court should a further investigation be deemed necessary. The prosecution requested that any inquiry be limited solely to the jurors in question, as demonstrated in a previously established case. They proposed a straightforward question for the jurors: are there any mistakes on the verdict form? While noting if no mistakes were confirmed, the prosecution suggested that the court conclude its inquiry, affirming the validity of the juror's decision. To that end, the prosecution strongly advised against direct inquiries with other jurors, highlighting that each juror had already, on the oath, affirmed that the published verdict was their true verdict. The submission firmly asserts that subsequent expressions of dissatisfaction or recantations by jurors should not be grounds for impeaching the verdict. This development resulted from the actions of two of the jurors who contacted the judge approximately 30 minutes following the verdicts to say they did not agree with the guilty verdict. Foy's legal team subsequently requested the court to exercise its discretion and repoll jurors B and C regarding their recently published guilty verdicts following his trial. In the most recent edition of Government Business at its Best Table Talk, representatives of the Ministry of Health and Social Development joined Acting Director of Communications, Carrier Christopher, to discuss access to public assistance grants following changes in the process brought on by the recommendations of the Commission of Inquiry report. Reflecting on the transition of the Assistance Grants Program from the House of Assembly to the Department of Social Development, Chief Social Development Officer Annie Malone Fred described the process as hectic, but noted that it has been beneficial in some ways.
The assistance grants that were previously managed under the House of Assembly came over to social development. It was in June of 2022. And when it came over, I believe we brought over like 356 persons who are already receiving grants through the House of Assembly. Mm-hmm. So they were added primarily to the persons that we were already providing grants to. In terms of management, in terms of the transition was a bit hectic because it meant that we had to necessarily call on all the hands that were in the department to be able to assist us with executing that. We have made several changes because when the grants came over, we were on the manual system where we were recording stuff manually. And we've gotten to that point now where we're doing a digital system. And that makes things much, much easier and supposedly shorten the time where persons necessarily doesn't have to wait for a protracted period of time before we can get any assistance. Not to mention the fact that it also has streamlined and assisted us greatly in terms of our reporting obligations to the ministry.
When asked if she believed that the new process is more effective and more efficient, Acting Permanent Secretary for Health and Social Development, Tasha Bertie, said she's generally comfortable with the new processes with the checks and balances now in place. She noted that there are more changes to come in line with the relevant legislation.
I can certainly say that we're very comfortable with what we're seeing since the transition. I think we were comfortable before. What we've done is, in essence, provided the correct channel where those grants would be properly managed, ensuring that there's transparency and equity across the board. And that was one of the main rationales behind the transition of the assistance grant to that department. There are some additional changes that we would see coming down the road in terms of the way the system is administered. Currently, we're guided by the Public Assistance Act, which gives certain stipulations as to who can qualify. Of course, there are additional steps that we're working on within the ministry and with the support of the department as well to make amendments to those legislations, which again would sort of widen the space as to who can actually have or have access to the public assistance program.
Program Director for Family Children Support Services, Laurel Freeman, provided some insight into how eligibility will be determined during the processing of applications.
As you can appreciate, everybody's situation is different.
Right.
So based on the specific need, and you mentioned medical, there are certain documentation that you would have to submit along with your application. So based on what you are requesting, then documentation from the doctor, from NHI, individual documentation as well, because every application, there are specific documents that you have to submit with every single application, regardless of what service you're applying for. So for medical, you would require your NHI card. The legislation specify exactly who is qualified and eligible to apply for assistance. So that also has to be taken into consideration.
She shared that while the process is guided by legislation, considerations will be made for exceptions on a case-to-case basis. Well, viewers, up next, more news from across the BVI.
One Stop Auto, located in the R&R Malone Complex, Parkwood Pond, is having a huge liquidation sale on all inventory, excluding vehicles and genuine Toyota and Lexus parts. Get no less than 50% off all items on shelves and inventory room. Items such as car covers, steering wheel covers, wipers, sealants, chemicals, emergency cones, adhesives, license plates frames, air filters, oil filters, front brakes, rear brakes, front rotors, rear rotors, radiators, shocks, and much more. A specific listing of all makes and models for which parts are available at liquidation prices will be posted on our Facebook page.
Start the year off with more speed, more downloading, more savings, and more fire. CCT Fire Fiber Internet gives you the speed you need to keep the whole family connected. Packages starting at $119 with speeds from 300 megabytes per second. Super fast, unlimited downloads, even more reliable connectivity, plus free live streaming TV for the family to enjoy. Sign up for the absolute best fiber internet service in the BVI, CCT Fire, and pay no installation fee. Plus, get CCT Live TV for free. You deserve more. Get more with CCT. Life Unlimited.
Welcome back, viewers. 284 Media's Jacka Wooden recently paid a visit to the site of the ongoing Brewers Bay restroom and wastewater facility after indications from Premier Dr. the Honorable Natalia Wheatley that the facility would be open soon were met with the skepticism by District 2 Representative the Honorable Melvin Turnbull. While she filed this report.
Following recent indications from Premier Dr. the Honorable Natalia Wheatley of the impending opening of the Brewers Bay bathroom facility, we paid a visit to the facility and were surprised by what we found. The Premier was at the time responding to a question posed by a representative for the 2nd District, the Honorable Melvin M. Turnbull, in a recent sitting of the House of Assembly.
Madam Speaker, the tourist season has already begun, but I expect that this project will be completed in the next few weeks so that the facility can be used by visitors and locals that desire to experience the Brewers Bay beach. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Turnbull requested a full update on the status of the Brewers Bay restroom and wastewater facility, inclusive of why it has yet to be opened and the details and cost of remaining works to be done before the facility is ready to serve the community and visitors. The Premier provided this response, including an indication that the project has achieved substantial completion.
Madam Speaker, the Brewers Bay restroom facility has not been commissioned and therefore is not functional, nor has it been open to the public. Madam Speaker, the restroom building and the wastewater treatment plant are substantially completed and are awaiting final testing.
True to the Premier's statement, we met a team from the BVI Electricity Corporation, hard at work establishing the necessary lines and technology to power the facility. The Premier also shared that one final component of the long-awaited project, sewage management, hinges on the work currently being done.
Madam Speaker, a final component of the project is the installation of a sewage treatment plant, which is substantially completed and is hinged on the successful completion of an electrical connection for testing and commissioning.
As spending on the projects continues, the Premier provided an update on the anticipated costs of outstanding works.
Madam Speaker, the cost of the work to establish the electrical connection is $23,343.51. The funds have already been remitted to the BVI Electricity Corporation. Connect Enterprises Limited was contracted to install the sewage treatment plant in the amount of $60,457.10, and a total of $15,114.27 remains on the contract to enable commissioning of the project. The main contractor for the construction of the restroom facility is K&C Construction. The balance remaining on the contract is $8,229.79, and the outstanding works include final connections and testing of all components including the water distribution and sewage treatment systems.
While he thanked the Premier for his response, Turnbull lamented the state of the project, now several years down the line. He described it as a political football.
It is disheartening to hear, Madam Speaker, that this restroom facility that was signed contract from very early in 2021, constructed, started, government changed to unity government. I became the minister, Madam Chair, for 10 and a half short months. Inherited this restroom facility, which was promised to the people of my community in Brewers Bay. And now it is 3 years later that the funding that we asked for, which was received to finish this restroom, that became a political football. I'm still hearing, Madam Speaker, that you're still waiting to collect electricity and connect water pipe. And the Premier didn't mention it, but I know for sure that the ramp ain't finished.
Turnbull expressed great concern that due to the slow progress of the project, it is likely that the building will begin to deteriorate before it opens for public use. You be the judge. Here's a look at the facility from our visit on Tuesday, February 13th. Our observations included litter, rusting light fixtures, animal carcasses, established insect nests, and intruding vegetation already at the unfinished facility. Wheatley told the House of Assembly that the project remains a priority as he acknowledged the extended period that the Brewers Bay community has awaited its completion.
I know there are a lot of challenges down in Brewers Bay and committed to getting those challenges fixed in partnership with all of the different ministries and the representative of the district, as well as the at-large representatives. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The project's total cost is an approximate $238,000 following a controversial increase last year that resulted in widespread criticism of the cost and progress of this project on the eve of the April 2023 general election. Jacques Wooding, 284 News.
In an exclusive interview with 284 Media's Ron Grant, BVI lander Donell Smith, who recently made history as the first local to win a Grammy, spoke about his journey and its impact.
So for me, those who don't know me, I got into music or started in music around the age of like 13, 14 in my homeboy's bedroom, literally. Shout out to my boy TJ. Caribbean every Saturday evening, going by him and doing freestyles every day on a stage mic. And I continued pursuing music, as a rapper, because I got into music as being an artist and just honing on that. It was a hobby at first, but for me, it turned into a passion and I just kept chasing after that. So eventually I said, you know what? Let me start taking it serious. And this wasn't until I turned 16, 17. I remember DJ Push Pop, he was organizing like certain lineups for the village and he was organizing local artist night and they were looking for like more performers. So I was like, let me perform. So he added me on the roster. And after being on the village stage for, I would say my segment was like maybe 15 minutes after just being on the stage and just the thrill of being on there and seeing everybody kind of cheer me on, all the phone lights that were up, just seeing how my energy was on the stage. It felt good. And I was like, I could see myself doing this.
Additionally, he spoke about how he got into engineering and the process of transitioning from an artist.
I'm not here to knock your dreams as an artist. I will tell you this. I can't make you as an artist, but I can make you as an engineer. Now, when I first got my internship, I didn't know what he meant by that back then, but I know he meant well. But now to see where I'm at and look back at that, I understand what he meant by make it as an engineer. So when I first started, for a whole year, music as an artist, I went cold turkey. Didn't do any music as an artist. I decided, okay, hone in on engineering. Let me see what I could do with that. And it got me into so many rooms around so many people that I never thought I would be around. So it just took off from there. And I remember getting my first big session with Soulja Boy.
Leading up to the Grammys, Smith said he had prophesized that him and his team would win the Grammy Award. When asked what made him so confident, he shared the following.
Barbie 3 months later is still showing, and I went to the movies and it's like people are coming out of the movie as if Barbie just came out that night. So to see how everybody's still going to watch this one movie, and this is really bad to say, but I didn't watch the movie until the night of the Grammys when we won the awards. Compared to last year when it came out, I was procrastinating watching it because it's Barbie. It's like, I'm not, me as a guy, like, why would I want to watch a Barbie movie? But, just for the sake of the occasion of the Grammys, I ended up watching it that night just to celebrate it. And, I could see why it had the pull it had, because it's very cheesy. It's funny in certain ways. It's like, it's a very goofy put together movie. So you see why people grasped it so much. So for me, that's how I knew that we would win it.
Viewers, up next, some sporting and entertainment news.
Orange alert! Orange alert! Fire is spreading across the BVI. The fastest, most reliable, and affordable fiber internet service is here for you. Look out for fire in these new locations: Slaney, Duff Bottom, Manual Reef, Seacouse Bay, Albion, Hannah's, Palestina, Pleasant Valley, and Havers. Fiber is in your area. Call 444-4444 or visit a CCT store to find out more and bring it home. More locations coming soon.
Some claim that the age of a true gentleman is far behind us, but here at 284 Media, we disagree. He may appear in different guises today, but the values and ideals that make him a gent still stand. 284 Media proudly presents The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman with yours truly, Ron Grant, a show poised to help guide modern-day men into 21st century distinguished gentlemen. Don't worry, it's not all about suits and bow ties, but raw, real-life lessons that translate to grounded, community-minded, well-rounded men. The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman, Season 5, a 284 Media production.
Welcome back, viewers. Defending champions Kiss My Ace continued their winning ways in the 2024 Virgin Islands Volleyball Association Power League last weekend, defeating Firebirds A 3-0 to mark their second win of the new season. Playing on Saturday in the Multipurpose Sports Complex in Rotong, the reigning champs swept the Firebirds 25-14, 25-17, 25-15, with Zoe Richards gaining the Player of the Match award for her 2 blocks, 8 kills, 9 digs, 4 aces, and 12 receptions. Well, let's take a look at those highlights. Saturday also featured two games in the men's division, with Guns for Life picking up back-to-back wins, defeating Kryptonite in a hard-fought battle that ended in a 3-2 win, 30-28, 25-23, 27-25, 18-25, 15-11. Guns for Life's Jose Ramirez received the Player of the Match award for his 2 blocks, 8 kills, 9 digs, 4 aces, and 9 interceptions. In the other men's game, Hawks handed One Mark their second defeat of the tournament in 3 straight sets, winning 25-18, 25-19, 27-25, with Jerron Timmons awarded Player of the Match for his 10 kills, 6 digs, and 4 receptions. Meanwhile, in Sunday's games, Raw Power defeated Phoenix Red 3-1 in the women's A division, winning 25-22, 25-15, 23-25, 25-11. the women's B division, High Impact beat Spikers 25-10, 26-24. Viewers games continue this weekend on Saturday and Sunday. Featuring love-themed poems and songs at the monthly Cultural Thursday event in Carrot Bay, Premier Dr. The Honorable Natalia Wheatley is slated to be among performers that will deliver renditions of poetry and song. He will join other poets such as Gia Fraser and Kamal Letsum in presenting. Fraser will also be joined by singers Catania, Ravenna, Tracy Jones, and others in delivering singing performances. According to the committee chairman, Monica Housen, the evening promises to be one of family, entertainment, and fun, as couples will compete in a fun Know Your Spouse competition and will also be challenged to render duets of popular love songs. Cultural Thursdays in Carrot Bay is a first district community initiative that seeks to promote Virgin Islands culture through presentation of food, drink, arts, crafts, and entertainment. Well, viewers, that's all we have for today's news roundup. Be sure to follow us for daily news updates at 284media.com and like us on Facebook at 284media and 284BVI on Instagram and Twitter. I'm Kamal Haynes, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Have a safe and enjoyable evening. Bye-bye.